Hello, everybody. I am Daniel. I'm the founder of Startup CPG. Welcome to what I think will be a really interesting webinar and also just kind of chat about SupplySide Global. I had the chance to go to SupplySide for the first time last year because I, as a brand, honestly never made the time to go. I was like, I don't like, what is it though? What actually happens at that show? Do I need to go to it? Because there's so many different shows to go to and different priorities. And you just don't know exactly what you're going to get out of it. And I'm just kind of afraid of supply words in general. And I'm like, is that good? So I never went and I never sent my COO or anything. And once I finally went, I was like, oh, I get it. Like we would have saved a lot of money and known who to talk to about a lot of problems if we had gone. So I was really excited when I went last year and just got to like, there's nothing like actually getting to go to this show yourself and just see who's there and see what they're all talking about, meet people and get their tips on what to do at the show and just go around and just start doing it yourself, right? But my hope is that through this webinar and through you guys, talking to more people about it, you can just get at least halfway there and feel like you really have a good understanding of what actually happens at the show. So we've got some very capable people here to tell you about it. So John, who is from the show, and has been doing this a long time and is just, very well regarded in this industry, will tell us all about it from the show's perspective, right? And that's a really valuable thing because he knows the most about what goes on at the show and who's been coming and all the good stuff that's going to happen and what the setup is and what they hope that brands will get out of it. But I also am really excited to have Mark on, and I think a few people in the audience who have been before, because there's nothing like just, okay, you're a brand, you're like me, you went, what did you get out of it? How did it actually help your business? Because that's what we want, like impact, cool. So yeah, maybe John, I'll just pass over. I know we have a bunch of slides to go through and stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah, maybe we start with just a bit of a chit chat. Do you guys mind doing intros and kicking us off?
sounds great. Yeah. So, yeah, hi, everybody. Really happy to be here and happy that you're here. My name is John Benninger. I'm Vice President and Market Leader at a company called Informa Markets. We are the company that produces the supply side trade shows. We also produce other events I'm sure you're hopefully familiar with, like Natural Products Expo West and Utopia Now and others around the world also. That's our business is trade shows and conferences and media brands that go along with them, like Natural Foods Merchandiser and Supply Side Food and Beverage Journal and that sort of thing. But I've been with the company for a long time. The end of this month will actually be my 30-year anniversary here. And I was part of the team that launched this event in 1997. It was much smaller then, as the industry was. And our mission has always been the same, to help businesses like yours, consumer packaged goods companies who are creating natural and healthy and delicious products, to help them succeed by supporting your building your supply chain, your manufacturing, your efficiency, cost of goods, and also understanding the trends in the market and where the white space and the opportunities are. So this will be our, it's been going on for almost 3 decades now, and looking forward to hopefully having a lot of you join us there. And Mark, I know you joined us last year. I love your company, Scout. I love what you do. And I'll kick it over to you to say hello.
And also, before we jump into Mark's intro, can I launch this? We have a poll we just want to launch because I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious where everybody in the audience is right now in terms of how they're thinking about it. So let me just launch this poll. You guys should be seeing it now. Basically, this is just asking you one simple question: how likely are you to attend Supply Side Global this year? Please answer this candidly because it helps us tailor what we're going to talk about to this. So great, thank you. Seeing all the answers coming in, and right in the middle, as we expect. Okay, cool. I'm going to end the poll. Sorry if you didn't get a chance to answer it, but I think we have a quorum here. So 70% said somewhat likely, and then split between
Okay.
the other two. So we'll
Perfect.
take it. That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Um,
Excellent.
and so, Mark, over to you, and maybe you can also talk about like where you were at on that poll before you decided to take the plunge last year.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, Mark, I'm the CEO at Scout Organic. We're a better for you, organic, plant-based, simple ingredient snack brand. We've got a lot of kid snack bars and cookies. Big part of our business is what we call our small batch bars, which are, limited run bars that we run on our website. And I think over the last 3 years, we've launched 22 kids bar flavors. So lots of new
Wow.
flavors. And we kind of, our R&D manager has been, oh, nice.
There we go.
Our
Good
R&D
stuff.
manager has been bothering me for like, I want to say 5 years, 4 years. Like, hey, can I go to the show? And I'm like, well, you got to have a plan. We got to make sure we know what we're doing. And I'd always said, it's really not in the budget. It's not in the budget. And I'm really glad that we went last year. We had a chance to meet with a ton of suppliers, current suppliers, new suppliers who were, supplying ingredients that we didn't even know that they had. We had current suppliers who we never really saw their full book of business, and we got to see everything there. And we're now looking at different fruit powders and fruit pastes and all of these different things that we never thought were possible. We've played with a pineapple flavor bar, and we're like, we can't find the right ingredient. Now it looks like there's an option, that we found from the show. Other things that we found, there's money saving opportunities everywhere. Having that personal connection is huge. So yeah, it was a great show for us last year.
I
Thank you.
love it.
It's exactly what we love to hear. That's why we get up in the morning, is to create those types of opportunities. Everything that you just mentioned there, Mark.
Amazing. And definitely check out. I am very lucky because I have this lovely big box of Scout Organics, but you guys could have it too if you go to their website and order it. Um, cool. And yeah, I think if you guys have questions, by the way, feel free to start dropping them in the chat or in the Q&A, because that's the most helpful thing. We're going to go through, slides and stuff so you can hear more formally about what the show is like, but we want that like, what is it like though? Or like, is it good for this kind of a brand? Those kind of questions are the ones that we want, because it seems like a lot of you guys are on the fence. And I personally believe if you're even considering it, that it's a great show to go to. Because if you're considering it, it means you have an innovation that you're trying to work out, or you are not happy with your supply chain right now, whether it's an ingredient or a co-man or something like that. And nothing will mess you up in this business worse than your supply chain. So if you're thinking about it, I think I think probably it's one of those things, like a lot of things, where everyone's like, I wish I'd gone sooner when they actually go. But you can't get to everything. So, good to be in the right place. But really, let's get the questions out. So, also, please use the webinar chat. If you guys can like type in some comments about like, have you been before, or what are you thinking about? What are your questions about the show? Please help us out. Like, drop some comments
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, so I can give a quick overview here and get us started, but let's keep it conversational. I love that. Questions coming in. Perfect. Mark, you want to jump in? Daniel, anytime. Absolutely love it. But yeah, the show's been going on, like I said, since 1997. This year it's October 27th through 30th in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. We basically take over Mandalay Bay, the whole expo hall and all the conference rooms and all that. And we'll have more than 20,000 attendees this year from all over the world, which is why it's called SupplySide Global. And in the exhibit hall, we'll have more than 1,600 companies exhibiting, and all of them are supplying something to CPG companies. A lot of them are ingredients, proteins and fruit and vegetable powders and probiotics and mushrooms and flavors and colors and sweeteners and anything that goes in a product, but then also the packaging and the co-manufacturing and analytical labs, all the stuff you need. The way we like to think of it is, what do you need to take a product from your head to your hand, from the idea to a packaged product that's ready to go on a shelf or go into a consumer's hands. And that's what we want to bring together at the show, all those different inputs and supplies that you need. And then in addition to the expo hall where all that action's going on, we have all the education, and that's in all kinds of formats, panel discussions and deep dive lectures and short format programming. We have multiple stages on the show floor that you can just walk up to and see a 25-minute presentation from a thought leader or an innovator. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on at the show. And it's really meant for food and beverage and dietary supplement startups, absolutely, but also the big companies. We'll have some of the largest CPG companies in the world, the ones that we all know that are global. They'll send 20, 40, 50 or more people, their R&D people and product development and purchasing and supply chain and marketing and all that. So it's really a big gathering.
One question, John, that's already come in twice, which I think is a
Shoot.
good one for you and for Mark, is people are
Yeah.
like, yeah, but is this like, do I have to be like some big company to actually go and source stuff there? What are those suppliers
Oh, yeah.
MOQs like? Or is this for people like really even at the very beginning, just starting to make their product? Like, will they even work with me? Maybe both of you could answer that.
Yeah, sure. It's for everyone, right? If I look at who our attendees are, it is the full spectrum. I love one of my favorite experiences when because I've been going to the show every year since it started. One of my favorite experiences, and this happens all the time, is when I run into somebody that came to the show for the first time 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. And they came to the show before they were even on the market. They had an idea and they were going to go to market, but they were at the very beginning, didn't even have the product made yet. And one of the first things they did was come to the show and meet with suppliers and meet with co-mans and meet with, you know, trend experts and food safety experts, everything they need to kind of get it right and all that. And then I run into them 5 years, 10 years, however many years later, and they're a big company with, a lot of sales and they're national. And it's just really cool to see that journey. So yeah, startups, people who are just not even in the market yet. It's a great place to start. So like you said earlier, Daniel, you can get it right from the beginning, get that supply chain dialed in, and not hit any road speed bumps along the way.
I love it. And I've met people at the show who are like, I was going to do it in this format, but I just met this guy and he showed me I could do it this way. Like my product would be super cool in that format.
Yeah.
And so, Mark, for you, because you and your ops guy, he was there with his notepad with like a specific list of things he wanted to get done at the show. So you're going around, you're talking to people about ingredients. What's your experience with the vendors there? Are they like, well, how big are you? Are they like, you feel like they are open to talk to anybody or?
I was gonna say, I think there's really no MOQ um, requirement to talk to these people, and it's great for understanding, all the different price points that every supplier has. I mean, you might think you've got the right supplier today, and somebody else can give you a better price, or somebody has a better quality product that you never even talked to, and they're happy to sell you a couple bags of something, or a pail of something at a better price. Um, Scout's not a huge brand, so we found a ton of value in that, being a smaller brand as well.
Yeah, we our exhibitors love that because they're always looking for the next big thing. They want to be a part of it. So, we think of ingredient suppliers sometimes as, well, they sell these ingredients. Yeah, they do. But the really good ones get really involved in the product development process, in the formulation process, right from the start. And those are great partners to have. And this is where you can come and meet those people. That's why we have, for instance, like a tasting zone and a new product zone, and a lot of the suppliers that they're there to help you formulate and create or improve your product, work on the flavor profile or the texture, whatever it might be. That innovation that aren't so yeah, purchasing happens, people buy and sell stuff, absolutely, but even more important than that, I think, is the ideation and the partnership to make great products. The purchasing will come, the sales, that stuff will come, but first off, people get together and solve problems and figure out how to make a great product.
And just the network that you can build, right? Just like
Hmm.
when you're doing that, knowing then who to call when you have some challenge you're trying to solve. I never had that in the early stages, and I think you can make your ops friends by going to this kind of an event. Um, and yeah, just on and because like I think Nor and some other people had asked a few more questions about that
Hmm.
minimum thing. Like if
Yeah.
you're if this is some tiny ingredient in your overall formulation and you're like doing a pilot run, often they'll just give you a sample that you can
Hmm.
use for like a very early stage because they're not going to try to sell you like just a few
Yeah.
bucks worth of an ingredient. So you can get, especially if you have met them, like probably they'll get you a sample for something to get you to the point where you're ready to order bigger ones.
Hmm.
And then another question that came in was around commands, which I think it was very interesting. I just didn't know what to expect when I went to supply side. Like, are there going to be rows and rows of commands, or how does it really work? I can tell you my impression on it is there are some commands there, but
Hmm.
actually, like, this goes back to, I know, John, I initially talked to you because I decided I was going to supply side because I was listening to How I Built This, the podcast.
Yeah. Right. I
And
remember that. Yeah.
yeah. And so the Magic Spoon founder was on there and he was like, basically what I did is I took a Cheerio to supply side. And I walked around and I said, who can make this? Because we want to make
Right.
this. And it actually wasn't even one of you just show it to people there and they're like, oh, actually walk with me and I'll go introduce you to the guy over here who knows the guy who does that. The
Right.
network effect there is crazy because it's just everybody there who knows everybody. So my impression is there are some co-mans there, but also everybody there probably knows every co-man who exists and
Yeah.
has experience working with them. And so specifically for co-mans, you just have like access to a big network, even if they don't have a booth there. Is that fair, John? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, we strive to bring in more and more co-mans for food and beverage, contract manufacturers for supplements, and and also personal care and pet products and all that. And we get more and more every year, and we're building on that. But you're right. One thing I love about this industry and this community is the willingness of people to help people. Sure, there's competition and things like that, but really, if you yeah, people are so helpful, whether they're an exhibitor or a fellow attendee, a fellow brand owner, a consultant. There's no better place to meet people and tap into their networks. And in fact, we have an event that we do the evening before the show called our first time attendee reception for people who are coming for the first time. So our staff is all there. And then we have our industry rock stars, we call them. These are people who have been coming to the show for 10, 20 plus years. And they come to this reception to meet our first time attendees, welcome you to the event and into the community, and learn about your business and learn about your challenges and help you build your network. So that's before the trade show floor even opens the next day. And it's a great way for first time attendees to, one, we want you to feel welcome and immediately part of this supply side community, but also, meet people that can help you find what you're looking for. And I find that that happens throughout the show. Like you said, whether it's an exhibitor or anybody else, people are there to help each other.
I love it. And people like answering questions. They like to be helpful. And that's what the Magic Spoon guy said. He's like, I went to one booth and he's like, no, I know the guy who does that though. Like the one person in the world who can make that, walked him over, introduced him to somebody else, and thus Magic Spoon was born.
Yeah.
So it's amazing just how helpful ops people can be at the show. So another question came. It basically, I think maybe John, we could show some of the slides because people are like,
Sure.
wait, can I see the
Yeah. I can
website
go
and
through.
stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
Let's
Yep.
go through
Yeah.
some of the
Let's go through
structured
it.
info. And also
Sure.
just give people a heads up at the end of the slides, I'm going to post a link because there is a 2-ticket giveaway that we're doing. So I'll post the link where you can go in and enter that once we get through these slides. So John, take it away.
Okay, happy to. Yeah, so I touched on some of this, and I'm not going to go through like a lecture and all that because the conversation is the fun part. But who attends of those 20,000 people? Yeah, it's R&D people, product development people, purchasing and supply chain management, marketing, kind of that whole group of people involved in, like I say, taking a product from your head to your hand, so it's ready to go on a shelf. We get great satisfaction from people who attend. We do have some cool show features. Of course, they're booths, right? It's a trade show. So there's all kinds of companies exhibiting from all over the world, more than 60 countries, exhibiting flavors and herbs and spices and ingredients and proteins and all that stuff. We have a tasting bar where you can see, touch, and taste new product ideas and prototypes, a new product zone. The networking hub we introduced a few years ago, and people love it. So it's a designated area for networking, but not just random networking like walk in and see what happens. Thematic networking. So, for instance, we'll have an hour where it's dedicated to beverage innovation. So, if beverage is something that's big for you, that's the time to go and meet all kinds of people from the beverage sector, fellow brands and suppliers and experts and all that. We'll have some sessions dedicated to plant-based products, herbs, botanicals. It's all on the website, but that's a cool way to build your network. The Build a
Can
Better
you
World.
do
Yeah,
you do you,
please.
I'm not seeing your slides, John. I don't know if
Oh,
you
you're not?
yeah,
Oh, I thought I had
sorry.
them shared there. I'm sorry.
But you were on a roll. I didn't want to
I am on a
interrupt.
roll, but that's all right. Let's make sure you can see them. How about now?
Yes. Here we
Okay,
are.
there you are. So, yeah. And anyway, we'll send these to you, but all the information is on the website. But we have a lot of show features in addition to the booths that are on the trade show floor. Another one here. Let me click on that. We have these what we call resource centers. So we partner with a lot of organizations like the Omega-3 organization, the Probiotics Association, the Animal Supplement Association, the Dairy Association, and more. And these are areas on the show floor that are dedicated to that category. So not only will you meet suppliers of ingredients from that world, but you'll meet experts and just if that's an area that's important to you. We'll have one this year for the first time on non-GMO with the non-GMO verified project, where they're going to be bringing in a bunch of certified non-GMO ingredient suppliers and all that. So we're trying to organize the show floor a little more for your navigation too. So if something's important to you, you can find it. The conference program is extensive. It's like over 140 hours of content. Like I say, it's everything from your kind of traditional classroom style, deep dive for 2 hours into a certain topic, to panel discussions, to more like this kind of live interaction thing where it's a short format, and a lot of it's just available on the show floor. You can just walk up and attend a session and then head on out. We're covering things like flavor trends, innovations in beverages, how to formulate with natural colors, which is, can be a challenge sometimes, plant-based proteins, how to navigate all the effects of the tariff and the supply chain stuff that's going on, snack food innovations, what GLP-1 means for the food sector, fermented foods. We have a session called Food and Beverage 101, which is kind of like if you're really in that early stage, starting up. We have a panel of people who are going to share some things that you really need to think about to make sure you're checking all the boxes. So there's a ton of content in addition to the expo hall. And so we have like a dedicated future of food and beverage stage on the show floor. We have a supplement solution stage that's all about dietary supplements and nutraceuticals. And then an innovation stage, which is really about what's next, what's the future, what's going on. And then, like I said earlier, we also own that little show called Natural Products Expo West that many of you hopefully have heard of or even been to. And they fit really well together. And this is kind of a complicated graphic, but all it really says is that at supply side, that you bring your product from your head to your hand, the idea. You develop your product, you find your suppliers, your co-mans, labeling, packaging, all the stuff you need to make a great product. And then Expo West, of course, is great for the distribution and meeting the distributors and brokers and retailers and buyers and getting it out there. And it becomes this whole cycle. So that's what we're trying to do, is help you get that product from your head to your hand, and then from your hand to a shelf, and find that success and grow your brand. And I won't go into all the passes, all kinds of different options. You can buy like an Expo Hall pass, or the full pass with the conference programming and all that stuff. We have the group discounts. But I do want to point out, we do have a hosted buyer program. So this is where we host new attendees. If you haven't been to the show, if you go to our website, and we can get the link to you. The deadline to apply is actually this Friday at midnight. So this Friday at midnight Pacific time. Simple application. We just ask you some questions about your company and whether you can attend and that sort of thing. And then we're going to select a group of companies, brands, to come as our guest. And we'll cover up to $500 of your airfare. We'll pay for your hotel nights and waive your registration fee, and then offer you a whole bunch of help preparing to have a successful event and that sort of thing. So if you have not been to the show, in addition to the giveaway, right, we're giving away the two, Daniel, with you. I would encourage you to, if you're interested in coming, to apply as one of our first time hosted buyers, and let us have you as our guest. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to stop sharing now, but happy to answer questions about the show. And again, there's a ton of detail on the website, the full conference program, the full exhibitor list. It's all searchable and that sort of thing.
And so I posted some links in here. One is just the website, SupplySide Global, if you guys want to check that out. I also posted that hosted buyer. I think there are like 30 or something. I forget how many total that are going to get selected for that, but that's definitely worth applying for. And then in case you guys are wondering, this is not like, to attend the show, it's not crazy priced or anything. I think you can actually get like even the most basic pass, I think, is like $400.
Yeah.
To get on the show floor. So it's not.
And then we're running the early bird position point right now, where it's the lowest price. That goes through mid-August, I think. But yeah, we want it to be affordable for people, and have you make sure you get your return on that investment.
And you get the best return on the investment if you're selected for one of 2 free Explorer passes.
There you go.
So right now, this is the moment. I just posted the link in the chat. It says link to apply for one of 2 Explorer passes. Very simple application there. If you can just go and click on it, it's just going to ask you your name, your company, and what are you trying to get done at SupplySide Global? Why are you going? What are you going to try to get out of it? And then we'll have 2 winners that'll be selected for that. So we'll let you guys know very quickly so you can still act and grab your tickets. And then I'm also going to post in here, because we're Startup CPG and we like to throw a good party, a link for if you guys are going. We're going to be throwing a big fun event at Top Golf Las Vegas. So we'll have a bunch of cool people there and a bunch of good brands. And so for the brands that come, we always like to create community and do fun stuff. So you can have a link to you have there the link to the event there, which will be very special. So yeah, I mean, Mark, maybe it'd be cool to ask you this just about like how to approach the show. Cause you walk in, the show is big. It's I didn't understand. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't even realize, because you go and there's one huge hall, but then you get to the end of it and then it wraps and it's even bigger all down the other way. It's like a huge,
Right.
it was on that floor, it's a huge L. It's massive. Like my feet hurt. At the end of the day, I walked far. So like Mark, what's your like what do you think game plan going in if you're going to the show? How should you approach it? What's it going to feel like? How can you structure your day to be really effective?
I think you said it well. It's very, very big. So definitely the prep work was huge for us. That was one thing. It was like, all right, who are our current suppliers that are going to be there? You know, we wrote down all their booth numbers, organized that everywhere. We actually printed out a list of all of our current ingredients. So we had that to hand to every supplier, because there's a lot of suppliers that supply multiple ingredients of ours. So I went through, had a list of all of our current suppliers and anyone that we've kind of looked at or talked to or looked interesting. So did a lot of homework before. Um, and then, did the classic just aisle by aisle walk and tried to look around at other interesting things and tried to talk to as many people as possible. You got to get there early. It's a big show floor. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just going in with a plan and knowing what you're looking for. If you go in with no plan, you're like Daniel said, your feet are just going to hurt and you're not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming with that. And we're trying to build more tools. And we have, of course, all the traditional tools like the exhibitor list and the schedule and all that stuff. But we're going to be introducing this year. We're really excited about our own AI-driven tool to help people build their agenda. And this will be the first time we're doing that. We think it's going to be really useful for people to take advantage of that AI technology to build out, extract out of all these things going on at the show. Where's the stuff that really is going to give you what you need for what you're working on or the challenges you're trying to solve?
That is very helpful. I like it. And I mean, when you walk in, it's just, you just see all sorts of stuff. There's like different sections of the show will feel certain ways. And then you're like, okay, now I'm like, here's like all of the flavor company. A lot of them seem to be right here, but they're also kind of mixed in throughout the floor. So I like what Mark said about like, yeah, come with your list of ingredients and your top priorities. And it's also not always the like, oh, like I see that booth, they have what I need. I'm gonna stop and get what I need from them. Like if you show them your ingredients, they might also just have other ideas for you. I really can't stress enough how much it can like take a moonshot. Like ask them, hey, you know what would be cool is if you could do this. They probably know the person who does that. That's just really like a big part of the magic of the show. Somebody also asked about machine or equipment manufacturers, if they're there. Yes, they're
Yeah.
there.
Yes, and that's a growing area for us, and an area we want to continue to grow. So we want more there. They are there, but it's definitely an area of growth that we see a need for in the future.
Yeah, yeah, big time. And if you, by the way, if you happen to be a supplement brand or into supplements, there's nothing that's not there. They're all there. Everything touching
Right.
supplements is also there. That's cool. Andrew Bruck just posted a comment saying that he'd been there going for years and is now a brand. So he says it's one of the best, most significant shows of the year. It's where the ideas of brands come to life, and that he agrees it's a great place to problem solve and find solutions.
Come by.
So
My work here is done.
yeah. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. If anyone else has
Yeah.
comments, please, or questions remaining, please post them in the chat and we'll try to make sure we round off and get to those. So so one question was, what's the difference between IFT and this show?
Yeah, we get that a lot. IFT is a great show. I'll be there next week. We'll have a booth there. It's a great organization, right? They've been around forever. They do amazing work to support the food science professional community with their scholarships and their education program and their work with the universities. Huge fan and love what they do. And been going to their show for years. And like I said, we'll be there next week. If I had to say the difference, for me, the difference is supply side, you're going to see things for the first time. You're going to see ingredients and ideas and suppliers that you won't see anywhere else. That would be the biggest difference for me. The second thing I would say is that we cut across the whole consumer packaged goods sector. So we'll have people coming to our show. Yes, food and beverage. Yes, dietary supplement, but also personal care and cosmetics, uh, pet food and pet supplements, home products, cleaning products. Everybody wants more natural, healthy products for their families in their homes right now, whether it's the food they eat or the products they're putting on their skin or what they're using to wipe off the counter after they cook or whatever it is, right? We all want healthy, natural, clean label, organic, sustainably sourced, regenerative agriculture based, all those things. That's where the world is going. And that's what you find at SupplySide. That's our roots. Where we started in 1997 was to help that sector grow. And so our first show in 1997, we had 71 exhibitors and 700 attendees out in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was tiny comparatively, but the industry was a lot smaller too. We were still kind of those edgy people that bought and sold stuff in health food stores and all that, And now, of course, you can find stuff, these products everywhere. We're mainstream, and so, but you'll still find the edgy, the new stuff that you won't find anywhere else.
One other question that's coming in, like what kind of ingredients
Yeah.
are there? Do you see most often? Like in my mind, anything functional is there. Like if you're making functional food, functional beverage, like the stuff you're looking for is there. Like someone asked, is there cacao there in ingredients? Like yes, I think you would see a lot of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what
absolutely.
is there a way to think about like what are the kinds of ingredients that are there versus maybe are there kinds you shouldn't expect to see there?
Yeah. Well, so um, anyone that sells an ingredient that is legal for use in the US is welcome to come. So somebody could come to our show and sell, artificial colors or whatever. Of course, that's not really where the future and the trend is right now. So we see natural, organic, regenerative, that sort of thing. But it's herbs and botanicals, spices, probiotics, mushrooms, proteins, fibers, fats and oils, processing aids, fruit powders, um, you name it. It's all there. And from around the world, we have a huge group of exhibitors that come in from India, from Europe, from South America, from China, and so you really see the entire global spectrum of ingredients. If it's something that could go into a food, a beverage, a supplement, a personal care product, it's going to be there. And you find things that you didn't even know existed. That's the fun stuff. I love to walk around and just discover new things. I've been in this industry a long time, and every show I come back like, wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then then you see it like ashwagandha. I remember when ashwagandha came out. This is probably 15 years ago. And matter of fact, the company, one of the leading companies that supplies it, came up to us and said, "I'm going to make ashwagandha a household name." I was like, "Whoa, that's a big undertaking." And now I see ashwagandha everywhere. The same thing happened with curcumin and turmeric and all that. So there is going to be an ingredient or a handful of ingredients at the show this year that are going to be really new, at least to this market in here in the U.S. And then 5 years from now, it's going to be that big thing, and that I find that really exciting to find out. What's that stuff I haven't even heard of yet.
And so for something like cacao, you should expect to find a lot of people who have cacao there, and it'll be different from each of them, right? Different ways where it's grown, and where they're offering it at
I
different
mean,
prices,
Mark,
different.
I see you nodding your head. So,
Every single ingredient we use was at the show. Like every single one, and cacao was everywhere. We definitely, no, I think like Daniel was saying, in every form, like whether it's powder, it's cocoa liquor, it's chips, it's white chocolate, it's cocoa butter, it's you can find everything.
You went cuckoo for cacao at the show, one could say. Um, I also think, one cool thing for me, actually, I don't know if Mark, this is the same for you, but even though I was running a beverage company and we had all those ingredients, they would go from the ingredient person to the co-man, and a formulator had developed the product. So I actually had never seen a lot of the actual ingredients personally and been able to taste, oh, that's what that one ingredient that we use tastes like. And that's what it looks like. And it was really cool for me to get, that opportunity just to get firsthand experience with a bunch of different kinds of ingredients. Did you have that experience?
A little bit. We do a lot of formulation in-house, so I've definitely had a chance to hold on and taste the ingredients that we use. But yeah, I feel like there was a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
It's like all the sweeteners, and stuff like that. They're all out there, and you can be like, "Oh, can I just taste that and see what that's like?" The other
yeah,
thing you mentioned I thought was super cool was around your current suppliers. So you had a list of your current suppliers who were there. For me, it also, when I was running the beverage company, it meant a lot to have a relationship with those suppliers because they knew things about the ingredients that we use. I think everybody expects that founders know everything about the ingredients that are in your product, and you don't. You might have a reason why you're using it, but you cannot go so deep on the history of that ingredient and where it's sourced and what really makes it special. What about the ingredient supplier is so differentiated? And it's really cool to actually have that relationship with them and go into it, because it will help you when you're talking to your consumers or to buyers about your product and just the quality of your ingredients and the full picture of how your product actually gets made. Have you found that, Mark? Is
Yeah, I mean, even on the other end of that, like it's easier to build a relationship when you've met this person in person and you've had these conversations. Like, I guess an example of why this show was so powerful for us was one of our biggest ingredients. We met them in person. We were one of their first buyers here in the U.S. and we actually post show I think negotiated close to 20% savings on this ingredient. And I mean, I think had we not met them at the show, had we not talked to them, had we not gotten recommendations for other ingredients and other suppliers and really hung out their booth for a while, I don't think we would have gotten that price decrease.
I love it. Okay, one very good question that we just didn't, because we always focus on what's in it for brands, but someone was like, okay, but is this more for people who make these ingredients or who want the ingredients? I think for me, it's everybody is there, right?
yeah,
There are brands that are out there shopping for ingredients, and there are also plenty of a lot of people. The people who have booths, I think, mainly would be suppliers of something or a service for
yeah,
brands, whether it's an actual ingredient or a co-man or one of these research companies or a lab or a certification company, that kind of
yeah,
stuff, or a flavor house.
yeah,
But a lot of people are there. Other ingredient suppliers come and walk the show, and they network and they meet people who they're going to work with, and they network with the brands who are there, and they go to the panels, stuff like that. Um, One of honestly, maybe my favorite panel of the year I get to be on at SupplySide, which is called Ingredient Idol, and I get
yeah.
to
It's
be a
a fun one.
judge for
Yeah,
some new ingredients that come out. And I discovered a very wild one last year, and it's super fun.
yeah.
Um,
That's a fun fun event at the show, and we love having you on there.
it's so good. So someone was asking, is it helpful for business services? I mean, I think it's sort of like what I don't know what your service specifically is, but if it is related to people, if it's going to be relevant to people who are looking for stuff that's around supply chain, they probably will have space of mind. I would say if you're there, trying to sell, like, I don't know, marketing service, people might not be in that state of mind right then when they're at the show. Cause that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about this show is you have some of these vendors at an expo. There are some cool ingredient suppliers at expo,
Sure.
but you're probably there looking for buyers. So you're like a lot of the us in this, are like, no, I'm buyer hunting there. I'm not. This is the show where you get the full like couple days to just focus on your supply chain. And that's what you're thinking about. And that's what you're doing. So, but there's good. I mean, there were like lots of people from different parts of the industry there just doing networking because it's such
Yeah,
a cool show.
we definitely, so the ingredients are important, but if I think about everything that goes into bringing a great product to market, legal and regulatory compliance, food safety, testing, uh, flavor, understanding the trends, all those folks are there. A lot of them are speakers too. They're on our panels and they're presenting and that sort of thing. So everyone's welcome. If you play a role in developing consumer packaged goods and bringing them to market, we'd love to have you there because it takes the whole community to make these products come to life. We all have to work together.
All right, I'm going to rapid fire hit a couple of these ones that are
Sure.
coming in. So someone asked if there are matcha companies there. Yes, there are a lot of matcha
A
companies
lot of
there.
matcha.
Yes, who say they have a very good experience at the show. I know I talked to the Tenzo guys. They said it was a great show. And someone said, where is it? So just, yeah, John, maybe you mentioned that before. Maybe you can cover it again, like where
Yep,
and when.
Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. And it's October 27th through 30th with the exhibit hall open the 29th and 30th. I think I saw a chat question come up about, well, wait a minute, if the exhibit hall's the 29th and 30th, what goes on those other first 2 days, the 27th and 28th? That's a lot of the content, a lot of deep dive, intensive training and content about trends and regulatory compliance. We partner with a group called NSF to offer GMP compliance and that's deep dive stuff. That's like the QA, QC people in the company will come and do a 4-hour or 8-hour class to make sure they're compliant with FDA and other regulations. But then also there's shorter form stuff too. We have these wonderful sessions now that we introduced last year where it starts out with a panel discussion about a topic and then goes into with the panelists a networking event. So you not only get to get the information and ask some questions, but then we all hang out together for a while and you can have one-on-one conversations, not just with the panelists, but with your peers who are in the room. So the 27th and 28th is really about content and networking. And then the 29th and 30th, that expo hall opens and that's where a lot of the activity is.
Love it. Okay. So feel free to, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat now. I think we're getting to most of them. So somebody said, yeah, if I'm not exhibiting, but I am attending, what else would there be for me there? So I think mainly like, yeah, you'll be obviously able to network with anybody who's there at the show, all of the content opportunities that you mentioned that happened before and during the show, and then a lot of these events that happen around the show. So there's, yeah, that first timers event that you mentioned on the Tuesday night. Our
We
event.
also do a networking event with Women in Nutraceuticals. This is a nonprofit that we helped form several years ago, and they're global now. And it's to advance women in the industry, whether that's in the sciences or investment opportunities for capital or more women in the C-suite and on boards, whatever it is. There's a mentorship program and all that. So we've been a part of that group from the beginning. There is a big networking reception put on by the American Herbal Products Association. So if you're into herbs and botanicals and medicinal plants, that's like the center of that universe. It's a wonderful gathering of, I mean, you meet people that have been doing this for decades and people that are new to it, but if that's your thing. And then there are a ton of different focused meetings, the United Natural Products Association, the Organic Trade Association, the Council for Responsible Nutrition, the Non-GMO Verified. We partner with all of these trade associations and nonprofit groups. They have been our partners for years. We want them to be successful with their mission. And so we really think of SupplySide as a place for them to come in and bring their community in and educate people and meet new people. So whatever your area of interest is, there's probably an event, a group, or multiple events and groups related to that where you'll find a cool community to hang out with.
All right, I love it. So much stuff going on there. Someone asked how co-mans are kind of situated at the show. Are they all in one section? Are they sprinkled throughout? I think they're kind of sprinkled Right.
It's a little bit of both. So we have so where we're really strong in that co-man co-packer world right now, and historically, is with the dietary supplements and the functional foods and the powders and functional beverages and that sort of thing. We have a ton. There's like a lot, and they're sprinkled throughout. Then we also have a new thing we've been doing with a group you've probably heard of called Partner Slate. They've been out there for a while and trying to connect, brands with co-mans and all that. And we started doing a special section there on the floor where we have a bunch of co-mans gathering all the time. It's more loungy. It's not just a whole bunch of booths, but it's an area where you can go and talk to the folks at Partner Slate and a bunch of co-mans who are there. And as I said, it's an area we're continuing to grow. It gets bigger every year, but there are definitely resources there that you can find.
All right. Okay, and then someone asked about regenerative. Are you seeing a lot of regenerative stuff cropping
Oh
up?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's all over our education program. It has been for years, and it's not new to us. That's again what I think differentiates us from some of the other shows. That's baked into our DNA, the commitment to organic and regenerative agriculture and sustainable sourcing and sustainable packaging and that sort of thing. And what I love seeing now, I remember when that was, we were the weirdos talking about that stuff. And now, even if I look at the big brands, whether it's General Mills or any of the big guys that have been around forever, go read their annual reports, go to their websites, look at their advertising, look at their messaging. It's all about converting to regenerative agriculture and organic and better for you products and clean label and products and all that. So we've been talking about that stuff for decades, but now, which is a great sign, I think, all these brands and suppliers and consultants that have been championing this as a better way to make products and a better way to run our supply chains. We're winning. The world is coming around, and think about what that's going to do. Our mission is more health for more people, and that goes across not just Supply Side, but Natural Products Expo and Nutrition Business Journal and VitaFoods and all the things we do for this global health and nutrition market. And it's just amazing to see where it was when I first got into the industry, when I was in college back in the 90s, to where we are now. We're doing it. We're mainstream, and it's just awesome to see.
All right. Cool. I'm going to post the link again to apply for one of the 2 free Explorer passes that we'll be giving out. And we'll do that pretty quickly so everyone can make their plans. And then a couple more questions coming in. I don't know what quite this means, but can we find NSF certified for sport co-packers at the show?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I say, we partner with NSF. That's the 501c3 nonprofit that began out of the University of Michigan, and they've been around for a long time. They certify all kinds of things: water, cosmetics, you name it, food, supplements, and their certified for sport program is awesome because it's recognized by most of the major professional sports leagues. And so, if you are an athlete, one of the concerns has always been with supplements. What if I take something and it has something in it that I wasn't aware of and I fail a test, or in it, because it's happened. Well, certified NSF certified for sport means that it has been tested and certified, and whether you're in the NFL or a professional tennis player or whatever, no worries. You take this product, that's not going to happen. And so NSF will be there. They're the ones that offer a lot of our training on the first 2 days, on the 27th and 28th, and we've been doing that with them for years. So great organization. And yeah, NSF you'll see that all over the expo hall. NSF, their symbol, NSF for sport certified, with different ingredients.
All right. 2 more here. So are there a lot of sustainable packaging suppliers?
Yes, and more and more. And what I love seeing is that, now all packaging suppliers are becoming sustainable packaging suppliers, or moving in that direction. That they get it, right? That's the future. Packaging for the consumer packaged goods industry is something that we need to deal with. You have to protect our foods. It has to be in something, and it has to be shelf stable. So we still have to do all that. But what's the best way to do it? And so there are those companies that have started out thinking that way, but now I see even all the big packaging companies that have been around forever. They're changing the way they do things, and so yeah, I would say any packaging company that's there, I would say, is a sustainable packaging company or well on their way.
All right. And then I think maybe the last one is, do you know if Non-GMO project, Verified will be there presenting info on the non-ultra processed certification, the new one.
Yeah, that's a fun topic, and what a topic, right? First off, what is an ultra processed food? And it's in the news now, and it's all over the place. So they're one of our partners, Non-GMO Project. Wonderful people. They will have a booth, a pavilion called the Non-GMO Verified Resource Center. And they'll bring a bunch of companies that are certified non-GMO ingredient suppliers. And their next big thing they're working on is that ultra processed food, non-ultra processed food certified. And so they're still in the pilot stages of that. It's not a full program that's been rolled out yet, but they will be there. Their experts will be there. They'll be talking about it. They're speaking on our education program. And you're just going to see more and more of that, I think. But they'll definitely be there, as will a lot of suppliers that can help in that area.
All right. I think we did it, guys. I think we got through all the questions. I'm going to post one. I posted all the links a couple times here in the chat. So if you want to apply for the free Explorer passes or the hosted buyer program, or just check out the SupplySide Global website, I'm also posting the Scout Organic link so that you can enjoy maybe this delicious kids snack bar. I'm eating the peanut butter and jelly because I'm a big kid. And I like that. Or we've got cookies, basically tons of different SKUs that are super popular with kids.
Hey, Mark, on Scout, real quick. I love what you do with the small batch stuff. I think that's a super creative approach. Just I'm curious what you're most excited about, like in your small batch world. Like, what's some of the cool stuff that y'all are working on?
Yeah, this year we've been doing some partnerships with, whether it's other brands or influencer partners. So one that we launched was our lemon poppy seed cookie that we launched in collaboration with one of our influencer partners.
Cool.
We just did a chocolate peppermint flavor that we launched. But yeah, there's no shortage of cookie ideas this year.
I love it.
We've got a new flavor launching that we're gonna be testing out here next week for cookies, and we've got another three that we're gonna be working through. So
Yeah, and
lots
I
of
know
different
there's small
cookies.
batch and limited time, but do any of them ever like if one just hits, right? You got to keep making it, don't you?
Yeah, great question. So our number one kids bar SKU started as our
There
French
you go.
toast flavor. We launched it and our customers just went crazy. It was like, we need more, we need more. What, why'd you guys discontinue that? And we're like, well, it was only around for a limited time, and we did it again, sold out really quick again, and yeah, that's kind of how
I love it.
we found it as a testing ground for new products.
It's a great idea. I love it.
I got to dig through my box for that French toast.
It's the
There you
best
go.
one.
All right. So, and then, yeah, just to end on, someone asked, where can we find the list of companies participating? That's on the website, right? I think you can go through
Yeah,
and see
yeah,
who all the
and
exhibitors
well,
are.
the website, and also we will have the app available. It's not live yet, but we always have a show app that'll have that on there as well. And you'll be able to also, and of course, it'll have the company name and the booth number, but a lot more information, the company description, link to the website, and you can also do some sorting, building lists by type of ingredient to where you can really dial down to some of those questions we had earlier. Like, hey, I'm really looking for this ingredient. Well, here are the companies that have that.
All right, guys, I think we got through all of them. Thank you guys so much for all of the questions. If you guys are planning to attend, also we have a Slack channel for SupplySide for everyone going, so you can stay in touch with everybody. I just pasted it here finally in the chat, so you can join the channel on our Startup CPG Slack. And I want to thank first Mark. Thank you, just because there's nothing like hearing it from a brand, and this is how a bunch of people can hear it from you, and just really excited that you were able to go last year and find all the improvements and cost savings and everything. So thank you, Mark. Any words to leave us with, Mark?
Go to SupplySide.
All right. Perfect. And John, thank you again. We really appreciate you guys helping us make all this info available to all the brands, because it's obviously this year feels like it's never been more important than ever to figure out your COGS and supply chain, figure out where your margin can be improved and get backup suppliers and all the good stuff.
Love it. Nope. Thank you both. Love what you both do. And yeah, just anybody that wants to come to the show, I'd love to see you there. I'll be at the first time attendee reception. I'll be all over the place. So hit me up, and please join us in Vegas. We're there for you to help you.
All right. See you guys. Thank you, everybody.